Dear students, today we're going to see how to prove that we have two lines and then they are parallel. So we're going to continue on yesterday's topic, parallel lines and angles. And our objective for today is going to be to learn how to prove that two lines are parallel. Okay, so this is going to be our objective for today. Let me remind you a bit what we did in our last lesson. In our last lesson, we had a pair of parallel lines. We described what is a parallel line, and we said that two lines are parallel if the distance between them never changes. And also, we have shown that when a pair of parallel lines is cut by a transversal, it forms three distinct angles which were corresponding angles, interior angles and alternate angles. And we said that these have properties, and their properties were that corresponding angles are equal, that alternate angles are equal, and that interior angles are supplementary. Today we're going to start from the other way around. We're going to have a set of lines, we're going to have some angles, and we need to prove that our lines are parallel or not. Okay, so let's start immediately from a diagram. So we have a diagram. For example, we have the following diagram. When you see the diagram, some of you might say it is a trapezium. Let me remind you, to be a trapezium, it should have marked on it a pair of parallel sides, which it does not have marked, so this is just a quadrilateral. This quadrilateral has some angles in it. For example, this is 100 degrees. This is 110 degrees. We have 70 degrees here. And we have 80 degrees here. So, what can we say about that quadrilateral? Let's say it's called ABCD. Can we show that AB and CD are parallel, or can't we? First of all, if we add the four angles in a quadrilateral, we know that they should add up to 360 degrees. And if we add them up, yes, of course, they do make 360 degrees. So that's not a problem. First, second, from the three different types of angles that we have mentioned in our last lesson, we said that we have corresponding, we said that we have alternate, and we said that we have interior angles. Let me remind you a little bit. Corresponding angles using the letter F, alternate angles using the letter Z, interior angles were inside parallel lines. Now, as you can see in this diagram, we don't have this type of angle, we don't have this type of angle. So the only type of angle that we can have in this diagram is the interior angle. Now, we have two interior angles there. Let me draw them separately so that it will be easier to notice. We've got one here, and we've got another one there. This is 100 degrees, this is 70 degrees, this is 110 degrees, this is 80 degrees. If we add these two up together, they make 170 degrees. If we add these two together, they make 190 degrees. To be interior, the sum must be supplementary. They must add up to 180 degrees. So, since neither of the two pairs of angles add up to 360 degrees, then AB and CD are not parallel. Okay, so that's the first one. I have clearly shown that they are not parallel. Now let's see one where they will become parallel. So what needed to happen for them to be parallel? For example, if instead of 70 here I had, for example, 80 degrees, and if instead of 80 I had 70 degrees, then those two would have been parallel, because I would have formed a pair of 180 degrees here and a pair of 180 degrees there. Okay, let's see another example. So this time I have a shape. Again, it's called A, B, C, and D. This is angle 2A, this is angle 3A, this is angle A, this is angle 4A. Okay, and I need to find which pair of sides are parallel. AD and BC, or AB and CD. First of all, there are no angles involved there, it seems. So we have everything in terms of A. So first thing which we need to do is to find how much is A. Now, we have a quadrilateral. So we know that the sum of those four angles, should add up to 360 degrees. So we're going to start working it out. So I know that A plus 2A plus 3A plus 4A make 360 degrees. If I add them up, I know that 10A is 360 degrees. So I know that A is 36 degrees, 360 divided by 10. So if A is 36 degrees, 2A is going to be 36 times 2, which makes 72 degrees. 3A makes 36 times 3, which makes 108 degrees. And 4A makes 36 times 4, which is 144 degrees. So I have as follows. This is 36 degrees. This is 144 degrees. This is 72 degrees. And this is 108 degrees. Now, as we can see, if we add up this angle to this angle, adding those two angles up, they make 180 degrees. So it has to follow that this line and this line is parallel. Similarly, if I add this angle here to this angle here, adding them up, they make 180 degrees. So of course it follows that those two lines are parallel. So I can say that line AD is parallel to line BC, since angles A and B, and also C and D are pairs of interior angles. Okay, so once we know that they are interior angles, then we know that they are parallel. Let me show you another example. So I have, for example, those lines. Okay, they are called AB. We have CD, we have PQ, and we have LM, okay? And I have some angles. For example, this is 124 degrees. This is 56 degrees. This is, let us say, 62 degrees, okay? And we need to find which pair of lines are parallel. Which pair of lines are parallel and why? Okay, so let's see, that's what we have given. Don't be misguided by what you're seeing. Okay, so normally in these problems it's not obvious. Not the obvious is correct. Okay, so I'm hinting it out. So of course, let us start. Let's see. For example, we have some angles, we have some others which are unknown. We always know that angles on a line add up to 180 degrees. So this angle here is 180 minus 124. So that is 56 degrees. Again here we have 56. So this is 124 degrees. We have 62. So here we have 118 degrees. Now, as we can see, this angle here, for example, is equal to this angle here. So in reality, those two lines should, because we have two equal angles, should be parallel. So I'm going to say the following. Lines AB and CD are parallel since they have a pair of corresponding angles. So as you can see, to show that two lines are parallel, we must, and it's a must, we must find either a pair of alternate angles or a pair of corresponding angles or a pair of interior angles. Failure to do so will mean that the lines are not parallel to each other. Okay? So that was our lesson for today. Hope you have understood. In case of difficulty, contact me. Have a nice day.